Now, leading up to the elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court is warning politicians to avoid electoral violence or risk facing the court. Now, this follows recent reports of injuries at a recent rally where supporters of the opposition clashed with supporters of incumbent President Joseph Kabila. Ndiho reports.
The national elections are due to be held on November 28, 2011. And will mark only the second time since its independence in 1960 that the DRC will be holding democratic elections. But human rights activists warn that the poll could spark off new violence.
We are very worried about security in the upcoming elections, and this is why we are sounding an alarm bell at this point to try to prevent the kind of violence that accompanied the previous elections in 2006.
Incumbent President Joseph Kabila is favored to be re-elected. But Kabila is facing stiff competition from 12 other candidates. Human rights activist Ayusa Buzigia Prosper says that the opposition is prepared to take their political struggle to the streets.
This time around, the guy who is the leading opponent of Kabila has no blood, has no crime on his hands. He has never used army. He has never been a rebel. This guy has been an advocate of people's rights and good governance for the past 30 years. He did it during Mobutu time. But this time, not only he has been given a chance to go to the ballot box, that means that when the elections are over, and it's clear that Kabila has rigged the election, Tshisekedi is going to run a parallel administration from the street.
The Human Rights Report released this week notes that the situation in the east of the country is of particular concern. Political parties have reportedly been targeted and their members detained, ill-treated and threatened. Most of the violations are said to involve elements of the Congolese National Police or the National Intelligence Services.
We've seen people destroy voting cards of the citizens of the DRC so that they will not be able to vote. We've seen police prevent demonstrations from taking place, prevent press conferences from taking place from opposition political leaders. This has to stop, and the government has to send a clear message that there will be accountability for such violations.
Violations have targeted the Union for Democracy and Social Progress, UDPS, and the Union for National Congress, UNC parties. President Kabila faces a struggle to hold on to the eastern provinces that sealed his victory in 2006, where voters now blame Kabila for failing to provide peace and security. The Human